Breathe in deeply and listen. In the silence between your heartbeats, something is waiting, a quiet force, ancient and patient, whispering. Transformation is silence. When you learn to be still, you begin to see clearly. The storms outside no longer shake the peace within. 2. You will feel the weight of your own choices. Every action has a ripple. In 2025, life will remind you that responsibility is not a burden, it is a privilege. You are the author of your story. No one else can hold the pen. 3. You will outgrow your old skin. Growth is not gentle. It stretches, tears, and reshapes you. The pain you feel is not a punishment. It is evolution. Welcome it. 4. You will discover the power of discipline. Dreams are seeds, but discipline is the sunlight that helps them rise. Without daily consistency, even the strongest intention fades. Stand up each morning like a warrior preparing for practice, humble, ready, and focused. You will lose people you once needed. Do not mourn this. Some souls are meant to walk only a part of your path. Thank them, release them, and continue forward lighter than before. 6. Stillness is not the absence of movement, it is the mastery of it. In a world that celebrates noise, speed, and endless stimulation, the greatest act of strength is to stand unmoved while everything around you rushes by. When you begin to cultivate stillness, you discover that it is not passive, it is power contained within silence. It is the quiet moment before the strike, the calm breath before the decision, the unshakable center from which all clarity emerges. When you sit in silence long enough, you start to hear things that were hidden by chaos, your own heartbeat, the whisper of your intuition, the subtle dialogue between your fears and your courage. In those moments, you realize that life is not asking you to react to everything, it is inviting you to respond with awareness. Stillness allows you to see what truly matters and what is simply noise. It teaches you patience, and through patience you learn precision. In stillness, your mind becomes a mirror, reflecting without interference. You stop chasing answers and begin to understand them. The storms that once overwhelmed you lose their power because you no longer meet them with panic but with presence. Each breath becomes a reminder that peace is not something you find, it is something you create. Stillness becomes your armor and your compass. It gives you the strength to act with purpose instead of impulse, and to lead your life rather than be led by it. There comes a moment when you realize that every decision, every hesitation, every word spoken or left unspoken is shaping the direction of your life. The weight of your choices is not something to fear, it is something to honor. It means that your life is no longer drifting, it is being steered. Each choice you make in 2025 will be a reflection of what you value most, and those values will define your path more than luck, talent, or circumstance ever could. The power of choice is the foundation of freedom, yet freedom without awareness becomes chaos. To choose wisely, you must first understand yourself deeply. Your motives, your fears, your patterns, your desires. You will begin to see that no one else can walk your road or carry your responsibility. You cannot hand your decisions to someone else and expect your destiny to stay intact. When you decide, you declare to the universe who you are and what you are willing to stand for. Some choices will be difficult, and some will demand that you let go of comfort. But every time you take ownership, you gain strength. The easy path, the one without accountability, might feel lighter in the moment, but it leaves you hollow. Responsibility is not a chain, it is the structure that supports your becoming. Through it, you learn that your life is not happening to you, it is responding to you, and that truth changes everything. Growth is not a gentle unfolding, it is a shedding of what no longer fits. Just as the snake releases its old skin to reveal something new beneath, you too will feel the pull to outgrow versions of yourself that once felt safe. It will not always feel graceful. Transformation often begins in discomfort, in the confusion between who you were and who you are becoming. The habits, identities, and attachments that once gave you comfort will start to feel heavy, like clothing that restricts your movement. You will sense that something within you is shifting, even if you cannot yet name it. This is the moment when many people turn back, mistaking growth for loss. But growth is not the disappearance of what was, it is the expansion of what is possible. You will find yourself stepping into situations that demand courage, facing truths that demand honesty, and letting go of relationships that no longer align with your higher path. The process will test your patience, your resilience, and your faith in yourself. But within the friction of change, your potential takes shape. You will start to notice how old fears begin to lose their power. The things that once triggered doubt will now awaken awareness. You will no longer chase validation because your confidence will rise from a deeper source, your own evolution. To outgrow your old skin is to honor your journey. to recognize that you are meant to move, to change, and to keep becoming something greater than before. Discipline is the quiet force that separates intention from achievement. It is not born from motivation, because motivation fades like a spark in the rain. Discipline is the steady flame that continues to burn when inspiration disappears. It begins the moment you decide that what you want most is greater than what you feel right now. It is the act of showing up when the body is tired, when the mind is doubtful, and when no one is watching. Discipline teaches you that progress is built one deliberate action at a time, and that consistency is the most powerful form of self-respect. Every morning you rise, you are given a choice to follow your emotions or to follow your purpose. Discipline is the bridge that allows you to cross from fleeting feelings to lasting results. It doesn't demand perfection, it demands presence. Each repetition, each early morning, each refusal to give in to excuses builds strength, not only in your body but in your spirit. It teaches you patience with your process and humility in your progress. When discipline becomes way of life, it no longer feels like a burden but a freedom. It frees you from the chaos of indecision, from the pull of distraction, from the weight of regret. It sharpens your focus and transforms your dreams into goals and your goals into achievements. Through discipline, you begin to understand that success is not an event but a rhythm, a sacred practice that refines who you are becoming. There will come a time when the faces that once felt essential to your story begin to fade from your daily life. This is not a sign of failure or betrayal, but of growth. As you evolve, the frequency of your spirit changes, and not resentful. Everyone will resonate with that new vibration. Some will drift away quietly, others will leave suddenly, and a few may resist your transformation because it reminds them of their own stagnation. Losing people you once needed is one of the hardest lessons, but it is also one of the purest forms of liberation. It teaches you that love does not always mean holding on, it often means releasing with gratitude. You will start to understand that every person who entered your life served a purpose. Some were mirrors, reflecting your strengths and insecurities. Some were teachers, showing you what to embrace and what to avoid, and some were companions, walking beside you until their chapter in your journey was complete. When they leave, they take with them a piece of the story, but they leave behind a lesson that will stay forever. This process will open space for new souls to arrive, people who align with your present truth, not your past wounds. The loneliness you feel in between is not hinges. It is preparation. You will learn that connection does not depend on proximity but on energy, and that solitude is not isolation but the soil where self-understanding begins to grow. There is a rhythm to life that cannot be heard in the rush of the city, the glare of screens, or the clamor of endless obligations. Reconnecting with nature in 2025 will remind you that you are part of a larger story, a vast web of life that stretches far beyond your individual struggles. When you step barefoot on the earth, feel the wind brush across your skin, or watch the slow arc of the sun, you remember what it means to be alive. Nature does not demand anything from you, it simply exists, and in its existence, it teaches patience, resilience, and humility. The trees will show you how to bend without breaking, how to grow steadily toward the light even when storms rage. Rivers will teach you persistence, flowing around obstacles with quiet determination, carving paths through stone, not by force but by consistency. Mountains will remind you that strength is not about speed but endurance, that the climb itself shapes your character more than the summit ever could. In the vastness of the sky, you will see the insignificance of petty worries and yet the importance of your own presence. By observing the natural world, you begin to notice patterns in your own life, the seasons of effort and rest, the cycles of growth and release. You learn to slow down, to breathe more deeply, and to act with intention rather than reaction. Nature becomes both a mirror and a teacher, showing you that the life you seek outside has always existed within, waiting to be recognized and honored.